is not the ideal. Right? Why is it not ideal? Because it might not have access to all sorts of data, or data from different subjects. Not only there's data from different people or different subjects, but also data from different contexts, right? Data collected at different contexts. So those are not available to a Fox server. So people came up with these, researchers came up with these, with another alternate system model. So we have the smartphone, we have the cloud, you have Wi-Fi connectivity, Wi-Fi or 4G. Then we have a phone server. And here we have a lot of sensors that are external. We also have smartphone sensors. We have actuators. So these are sensors. This is an actuator. That is a Fox server, and we have again Wi-Fi, mostly Wi-Fi connectivity. And this is Bluetooth or something else. This is what we had before in the last class. Now what people came up with was that they came up with the term called cloudlets. How many of you are familiar with the term cloudlets? Anybody heard about cloudlets? Clouds and cloudlets? What is droplets? That I know. What is droplets? No, that is not the same concept. So what is the meaning of the English word? Cloud. Smaller cloud. Right? It's a smaller cloud. So what are cloudlets? So this idea is closely related to another idea. We'll come to that later. So cloudlets are smaller servers. Smaller servers that are not really enterprise. So nobody maintains those servers. But these are smaller servers. Maybe another smartphone, another person's smartphone, or another person's desktop server. Right? Desktop. Or embedded computing devices. So maybe printers. Other embedded computing devices. And what you can do is they provide computational services. So all these things, they provide computational services to the smartphone. On a volunteer basis. Right? So they volunteer. So their service is not always available, but they might choose to give you those services at some time. So these are ad hoc computational services. So they might be present, may not be present. And you have to use them in an opportunistic way. So if they are present, use them. If not, you cannot. Right? So these are cloudlets. So these are another term that is closely related to cloudlets is volunteer computing. So volunteer computing service. So imagine that I want to run a hugely parallel application. For example, I want to transform an image, and I want to find edges of an image. So edge detection is a very example. Is a very important application in graphics, right? Edge detection in an image. How do you detect edge? Basically, you take a Hopf transform of an image. Hopf transform involves multiplying a matrix to the image. Right? So that matrix multiplication is very parallel, extremely parallel. So let's say I want to do that matrix multiplication or edge detection on a very big image. right? And I only have my smartphone. I just took the image from my smartphone, and I cannot use my smartphone to do that operation because it does not. It will take a long time. Now you have at least 30 smartphones in this room, right? Let's say everybody volunteers a little bit of computational resource to me. So what I can do is I can use some techniques or some parallel execution middleware such as Hadoop. How many of you are familiar with Hadoop? Almost everybody. So what does Hadoop do? It's like a middleware that enables you to take an application, divide it into multiple tasks. Each task executes and combine the result. That is Hadoop. So let's say I use Hadoop not on servers but on your mobile phone. So you have volunteered to give me some portion of your storage and some portion of your computation of the CPU, right? Some portion of your CPU or GPU, some portion of your storage. You have voluntarily given to me. So I run this middleware, Hadoop-like middleware, on all your mobile phones, and I can initiate a detection task. Part of the task runs on some of your mobile phones and gives me that. So you basically your mobile phone is not a enterprise cloud service. Right? It's not managed by any enterprise. You are not providing any service to me. You are not agreeing to provide any service, but you are volunteering. Saying that okay, I am not using my smartphone because I am concentrating on mobile computing class. So use my computing. You can use it with my computing. So that is volunteer computing, and that becomes cloud-based because you are giving me a cloud service, but you are not really a server that is giving me cloud service. You are not maintained by an enterprise. You do not have as much computational capability as a big server, but you are available to me right now. A cloud service is not readily available. And probably if I send data to your mobile phone, it's much faster because I don't need to use Wi-Fi, I don't need to use 4G, I can just use Bluetooth. Right? So that concept is called cloud-based, and it's very closely related to volunteer computing service. Each term we will talk about in detail in the course of this class. Later, not today, not maybe 2-3 weeks later. We will also read some papers related to this topic. So these are some of the most recent system models, mobile computing system models that exist. The cloud-based and volunteer computing service is the most recent one. There's a lot of research going on how to use this system model. So there are many issues for this system model, right? What are the issues? The first issue is how do you know that a cloud-based is available? Cloud-based are not available all the time. Then how do you know that the cloud-based is available? So device discovery or service discovery. Service discovery is an important problem. How do you discover service? Right? The second issue is another important issue. So here what I have discussed is that these devices are volunteer computing service and they provide you certain computational service. It's like you're using these devices for just computation. But if you imagine the function of a smartphone, what does a smartphone do? Smartphone has a lot of sensors. It can collect context information regarding the entire environment. So, if you have access to a large number of smartphones, what you have is a snapshot of a diversified context. Right? So his context is different than your context, but you have access to both the smartphones. So what you can do is you can use the smartphone sensors to collect context-specific data. Let's see an example. let's assume that you are going into a smart stadium. So this is a stadium, next generation stadium. So what happens in this next generation stadium? This volunteer computing service is employed in this next generation stadium. So you can imagine an application like this. So when you are in a stadium, you are watching a game, let's say a football game. What you are doing is you are very excited and you are taking pictures, you are taking videos of the plays that are going on. Right? So you are taking pictures of the ground, you are taking videos of somebody running, all these things you are doing. Now let's see, let's say that some of you are taking a very good, have very good seats. So you can watch the entire play going on and you can record it using your mobile phones. Now let's say another person got a seat which is far off, right, the last row seat in a huge gallery. So that person cannot really see the field. And he sees the field, he sees something is going on, but can't really enjoy the play. Now you can imagine a volunteer computing service where this phone, this smartphone of the person who is sitting way back in the last row, requests a replay, an instant replay of the play that is going on. And this is not just a very simple replay where you take a video from a particular angle and you show the play. This is a request for a 360-degree video, which means that the point of view is at the center of the field, as if somebody is standing at the center of the field and is looking around. Right? So whatever is going on in a 360-degree video, you want to see. So what you can do is, this mobile phone can request other mobile phones that are at better seats than this person to take video snippets. So let's say this is the stadium. Let's say this is the stadium, and this person sat, who requests this, you requested the service, sat right here. But he wants to see the play. Now there are people who are sitting here, 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 and here. They have much better view than this person, right? So this person requests, okay, take a 4-second video from this angle. So it takes a 4-second video from this angle. This person takes another 4-second video from this angle. This person takes it from this angle, and this person takes it from this angle. What you can do is you can stitch these videos following certain algorithms and create a 360-degree view of the stadium. So instantly you can see replays, 360-degree replays of the play that is going on. So what did you do? You not only use the computational service, you use the context-specific data of that phone. And since you can use different phones in this stadium, each phone has a different context. So here the context information is the angle at which you are taking video. So each phone has a different context, different angles from which you can take video. So if you have access to all these contexts, then you can combine this context to get something else. No camera will give you a 360-degree video of the play that is going on. Every camera has a specific angle. But if you combine all these 4 cameras, then you get something that individual cameras cannot give you. So that is the power. That is one of the that demonstrates one of the advantages of volunteer computing service. So it's not just computing. When you are using smartphone as devices in the volunteer computing service, then you are also getting access to data collected at diverse contexts. So if you get data collected at diverse contexts, then you can combine them to get a totally different and new information. So that is one of the main advantages of this system, cloud. So what we can get is context diversified data. advantage, but there are a lot of problems. What are the problems? The volunteer computing services are volunteer, right? So you might think that no, I don't want to work at random times. So reliability is a big problem. For example, it's your smartphone. You wouldn't want anybody else to use your computing system. Why do you want that? Problem is if the computation is too heavy, then your battery power will drain and you won't be able to use your smartphone for other purposes. That's what you wanted to do. Right? So the volunteer might randomly choose to get out of the system. But randomly choose to stop the computation. So reliability of execution. Right? Reliable execution is a big problem. Now you have to ensure reliable execution under such randomness. So which volunteer do you select? So volunteer selection is a very important optimization problem. It's a stochastic optimization problem. Stochastic means that there are random variables involved. So stochastic optimization, why? Because you have to ensure the quality of service, which means that in the case of stadium, you have to ensure that you get at least 30 seconds of video, right? That is quality of service. You have to ensure quality of service despite people or despite the volunteer computing devices randomly shutting down. Right? So how to do that? So one of the ways is to choose volunteer services that have the least chance of randomly shutting down. So for example, if there are two devices, one is 100% battery and another has 7% battery, which one will you choose? Still a difficult question. Let's say the smartphone that had 100% battery was somewhere here, but the smartphone that was 7% battery was here. So here he has a better angle with respect to this one. This one does not have a better angle. So even if this one has 100% battery, you cannot choose. But it's more likely that this person will take a 30-second video. And it's less likely that this person will take a 7-second video. So there are several factors. And which one is the best is a very difficult optimization problem. This kind of this system model is actually discussed in the recent 2016 to 2017 papers on mobile computing, and these issues are discussed there. So if we don't read papers, we won't be able to understand these things. So from the next week, what we'll do is we'll each week we will read two papers, two new papers that are being published in Top Mobile Computing Conference. We'll talk about those. So from next. So these are some of the system models. Now let's go into a discussion which will take us to smartness, which will take us to a definition of smart mobile computing applications. Right? So why do you or what is the most important concept in mobile computing or in designing mobile computing applications? When you move, or rather, what happens when you move? So that is an example of one. What is a more general thing that happens when you move? Huh? So location is another specific thing. So what I'm hearing is there is a change in location, there is a change in network state, right? So what is more general that happens? The environment changes. When you move, the environment changes. So in a mobile computing system also, if you're moving, so one thing that is at core or at the core of mobile computing is movement, right? So if movement is at the core of mobile computing systems, then changes in the environment is also at the core. for mobile computing system. But what you have to do is you have to ensure that my application takes that into account, takes the changes in environment into account. Now, what do you do as human? What do you do when environment changes? Adapt, right? Mobile computing applications also have to adapt. So adaptation is a very important concept in mobile computing systems. That's what makes mobile computing an interesting subject to study. This is at the core of mobile adaptation. So what do you mean by adaptation? Whenever environment changes, you do something, right? Why do you do that thing? Why do you need to adapt? Yes, to survive, right? You need to adapt in order to survive because you need to find food, you need to be warm, right? But for mobile computing systems, why do you need adaptation? Right? So let's think about more general terms. You said to survive. You didn't say that the human need to eat. That's why they are adapting. You said to survive. Like survive is much more general. It includes eating. It includes staying warm. It includes mental stability, right? So you said much more general. So for mobile computing, what is the general thing? User experience, not intellect. User experience. So for why do you adapt? Because you have to maintain user experience. This is the single most important thing in mobile computing. Maintaining user experience. We do everything in order to maintain user experience. Everything is done in order to maintain user experience. That is our main goal. There are two types of adaptation. Broad categories. Two broad categories of adaptation. One is reactive and another is predictive. So now let's focus on just mobile computing systems and let's give an example of what is a reactive adaptation and what is proactive adaptation. Sorry, not predictive. Not predictive, sorry. Proactive. What is reactive adaptation and what is proactive adaptation? By the way, all these things are in the first chapter of the book. That we'll upload the first chapter of the book. Right? So all these concepts that we are discussing are there in the first chapter of the book. But you won't find all the system models in the book because those are new. That's not there in the book. But these concepts, reactive, proactive, and some other things that we will talk about are there in the book. Okay, so can we give some examples of reactive and proactive? First of all, what does it mean? What does reactive adaptation mean? Any idea, any initial thoughts? No, adaptation is caused by changes in the environment. Yes. So reactive is response after something happens. So the environment changed and then the system responds. What is proactive? Yes. So the proactive means the system predicts that there might be change. And even before the change occurred, the system changed its settings so as to give better user experience in the changed environment. Right? So that is proactive. The reactive versus proactive. Can we give examples of your current mobile computing applications? some reactive adaptation strategies, some proactive adaptation strategies. Which one? Just give an example. The messaging, those are not context specific. Those are not generated by changes in environment. Those are generated by you. You are saying, "Oh, I want to send a message." So I send.
When you crossing with Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi
So an example that he has stated that let's say you are moving, you are connected to Wi-Fi, you are moving now, you use Wi-Fi connection, and in response the system switches to 4G. That is reactive. That's good. An example of reactive strategy. Now, what is an example of proactive strategy? Yes, so for example, YouTube application, consider YouTube application. So what the YouTube application does is that while it is showing the video, it keeps on buffering future video frames. Right? It doesn't know that whether they will be deleted or not. Maybe you don't want to watch that video, but still it stores future video frames, so that when the network is disconnected, you can still watch it. Right? Better user experience. So that's an example of proactive adaptation. Now each of the reactive and proactive adaptation. Okay, so let's first write down the example. So first example is Wi-Fi disconnection, and then switch to 4G. And then the second example is YouTube, right? YouTube buffering future video frames. So that you can watch them even if even if the network is disconnected. Right? Now each of these, reactive, proactive, can be further subdivided into two categories. So each of these reactive, proactive. So these you can give two categories, these ones also two categories. So one of the categories is system level and the other category is user level. Now we will see what are these. So system level adaptation is an adaptation strategy that is taken without notifying user. So it's an adaptation strategy that is user transparent, which means regardless of what the user thinks, if the environment changes, I'll take that decision. What is an example of system level adaptation? System level reactive adaptation. If you have it in auto, right? So screen brightness. If you have it in auto brightness, then what happens is based on the intensity of the surrounding light, the brightness automatically changes. It doesn't ask you whether you want to increase the brightness or reduce it, and it also does not take your preferences. Right? What is user level? User level is that any adaptation, right? So any adaptation strategy that requires user input. What is an example of user level reactive uh, adaptation?
By downloading the last file, you change from Wi-Fi to OP
It doesn't ask. It just does. Does it ask you to do anything? Oh, continue. Okay, yeah, that's an example. Right. So what he's saying is that when you're downloading a large file, if you switch from Wi-Fi to 4G, then it asks you, do you want to still continue downloading, or do you want to wait? Right. So that is a adaptation strategy that requires manual user intervention. Now, the same things can be there in proactive also, system level and user level. So can you give me an example of proactive system level adaptation? So it's a predictive adaptation, but you don't ask for it.
So when you're using YouTube and then the Wi-Fi signal is really bad and then you start to make the image really blur.
Yes. So let's say you are using YouTube, right? And the Wi-Fi signal got really bad, and it automatically changes from 480p to when you're 256p, right? So that is a proactive. No, that's not proactive. That is reactive. Because Wi-Fi changed and then I changed the video volume. So that is reactive. Right? So what is an example of proactive? Which one? Okay, yes. So the YouTube buffer, right? So the YouTube buffer means you buffer the frame and it doesn't ask the user, right? It doesn't, it just does it, right? So that is an example of system level proactive adaptation. What is an example of user level proactive adaptation?
So I feel like that my battery is low, so I turn off everything. I turn off Wi-Fi, I turn off Bluetooth, I turn off cellular network just to
Yes. So what you can do, what the phone can do is the battery is getting too low. So it predicts that okay, in 5 minutes your battery will be zero. Right? The phone will shut down in the next 5 minutes. Right? So it has that prediction capability that predicts that there is going to be a change in the environment. So then it asks the user, okay, do you want to shut down this application? Do you want to do that and all those things? It asks the user. So that is an example of proactive user level adaptation. What? So that's proactive because the battery didn't go to 5% yet. It is still in 10% and you are playing games. Right? So there is an algorithm that says that since given this current power profile, to maintain this current power profile, your battery will end in 2 minutes. So it gives you a pop-up, okay, you cannot play now because your battery will become too low and will die in 5 minutes, so you cannot play now. Would you like to stop this application? Would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? And so on. So it predicts that it will in 5 minutes it will go to 0. So that's the proactive element. Now, if we look at user experience, and if we look at user experience and we have a scale, like we have this scale, it's already tilted, but I didn't want to make it tilted. So let's say this is the scale, which is not tilted. and you have a keyboard here, and you are in. So this is the user experience scale. In your mind, let's say this is not tilted, right? So a good user experience means it will stay horizontal, and a bad user experience means it will either fall this way or fall that way, right? What you can say is system level adaptation, whether reactive or proactive does not matter. System level adaptation is here, user level adaptation is here. Which means if you have a totally system level adaptation, then your user level experience is going to be very bad. Why? Because you will choose some decisions that are not personalized. Not every user will agree with your decision. On the other hand, user level adaptation is also not good user experience because it causes distraction. You ask 1,000 questions to the user, it will cause distraction. So this is distraction, and this is system level adaptation is one. User preference agnostic. And it doesn't know anything about user preference. Right? So what do you need to make this balance? You will understand what is needed by using two examples, or by seeing a comparison of two mobile applications. Both are video streaming applications, YouTube and Skype. Both are video streaming. One is live stream, YouTube can also be live. Skype is always live. YouTube can be live, but it can be just streaming as well. Right? So let's consider certain adaptations and see what is good, what is bad. Right? So YouTube versus Skype. So let's consider an environmental change, or let's first consider an environment where you are using both the applications. So let's say you are traveling by train, and you are watching YouTube while some other person is doing Skype. And when you are watching, when you are going through this, when you are traveling by train, your Wi-Fi connection or 4G, whatever you think, the quality is changed. Right? Over time, the quality is changed. Now let's consider YouTube first. Let's say you are watching a football game. That is one example. Second example is, let's say you are watching a classical concert. Right? For Skype, let's say the first part is your interviewing for a job. And the second example is you're taking Skype lessons to learn piano. Now let's say the Wi-Fi or the network connection, the network quality becomes poor, or network quality changes. For YouTube and both for YouTube and as well as Skype, there are two things that you can do. You can reduce video quality or you can reduce audio quality. Right? So which one do you prefer? Let's say for the first example, watching a football game. Would you want to reduce audio quality or would you want to reduce video quality? Pardon? Audio quality. With video you want to remain the same because you want to watch what is going on. Now for the second case, you are watching a classical concert. Do you want to sacrifice video or audio? You want to sacrifice video because you don't there's nothing to see in classical concert. It's everything to hear. Interviewing for a job, audio or video? What would you want to sacrifice? You are not to sacrifice video. And if you just see that doesn't hear you, then you won't do the job. So you can sacrifice video. Learning piano? What? Audio or video? What is it? Video. Next. It's music. If you don't hear it, you don't learn it. But on the other hand, you also need to learn techniques, fingering techniques in piano. So what would you sacrifice? Maybe you sacrifice both, but not that much. Right? A little bit of both. So what is happening here? What we see here is the adaptation that is best for a given user depends on the application and the data, right? Or rather, the application and the context. So it cannot just be system level, it cannot just be user level. What it has to be is something called application aware. So the adaptation has to be application aware, which means it knows that a person is using YouTube to watch a football game. So given that information, what the adaptation will take? Not just that the Wi-Fi network quality is changing. Not that just that information. You have to take the application into account. This is an application where the person is watching YouTube, is using YouTube to watch football game, right? So application adaptation that allows you to get the balance. Now, this is very difficult. Application adaptation is very difficult. Why? Think of or try to compare this scenario with a software design scenario. Right? Software design has been there for what? Ages, right? 50, 60 years. People have developed software. How do we design software? What is the first step? Requirements analysis or specification, right? You go to the client and you ask, okay, what requirements do you need? How long do those requirements stay stable? So for software design, I'm saying that you went to let's say you went to Bank of America and you want to develop a banking software for them. So they give you the requirements. You talk to them. They give you the requirements. Okay, I need this type of software. How long does that requirements stay firm? Can you develop the software? Go to Bank of America and Bank of America says, no, I don't want to do that. Can they say that? Or do they say that? And in practice they might, but I'm saying, is it okay to say?
So the contract
It depends upon the contract. So if you have a contract that okay, you have to build this software, I give you this much money. Now after you have built this software, you cannot say, oh, no, I won't give you money because my requirements have changed. Can you say that? You cannot say, right? But you see here, at one time I am watching a football game, right after 5 minutes I can watch a classical concert. So at one time I do not want to sacrifice my video, but at the other time I want to sacrifice my video, I do not want to sacrifice my audio. So my requirement changes within a span of 5 to 10 minutes. So can you apply the traditional software design concepts here? Cannot. Because the requirements are changing very frequently within a span of minutes or even within a span of minutes. Right? So this is one of the very complex scenario where you cannot really developing application where mobile computing systems is extremely difficult. And we will see what are the steps that are needed to develop such application mobile computing systems. Right? Now we know that we need application-aware mobile computing systems for the optimal user experience. Now there is this term smart. Right? So what is smart? How can we define smart? Not all mobile computing application is smart. For example, let's say you have an application which gives you nearby restaurant. Right? So you say that okay, I want to eat. Right? It's lunchtime, I want to eat. I'm very hungry. It gives you the nearby restaurant. So you search. Okay, I want to eat a burger. Right? So it gives you different restaurants. And it also tells you how long will it take for you to go to those restaurants. Is that a smart application? Do you consider it to be a smart application? Yes or no? Yes, some people are saying yes. Anybody says no? She says no. Anybody else? How many of you say yes, it's smart? Raise your hand. And how many of you say no, it's not smart? And 50-50 now. Okay, so that is one application. So let's say we are confused, it's smart or not smart. Let's say another application, same domain, but there is a slight twist. So this application has monitored you for a long time, which restaurants you want to go. And they say that you are not really interested in burger, but you are interested in a variant of burger, which has Indian spices in it. Right? So you are interested in burgers, so a very specific type of burger. It has to be vegetable burger, and it has Indian spices in it. So there is no meat. So then it knows that you only eat this kind of food. It didn't ask you that okay, do you want Indian food or do you want American food? What type of food do you want? It didn't ask you, but it only showed you restaurants that serve those types of food without asking. Right? So do you consider that application to be smart? She says no. Anyway, how many of you say yes? How many of you said no? Okay. Why yes right now?
I mean, not that to extend forever. Like maybe just try once. Next time I might come on.
Okay. So this application, what I'm saying, okay, I agree. So I might change my mind, right? So I ate that one time, I didn't like it. I changed my mind that I will eat a different type of food. Now, if I just twist that application, just change that application to say that okay, the past 10 times we have eaten the same type of food. Then will it be smart?
It really shows the same concept that it's complete transparent to me and I have to choose that.
So for that reason, she is saying that it's not smart. That even if I have eaten 10 times the same type of food, I might change my mind. Right? So that's a very difficult task to predict your mind. Because truly you can change your mind. But what the system did in this scenario is that it looked at pattern. It looked at the pattern and it predicted something. Might be wrong. Right? You didn't like it, might be wrong. But it predicted something. Now you have very high standards of smartness. You don't consider things to be smart just as it is. Okay. So what we are saying is that if we want to analyze smartness, what researchers say is that application aware proactive mobile computing systems are smart. So smart means it has to be proactive, it has to be application aware. So proactive and application aware mobile computing systems are smart. So in our example, the system where you just inputted that I want to eat burgers and it gave you a restaurant for burgers, that is not really smart. Because it is reactive first of all, and it is user level adaptation because the user gave the input. In the second one, it is more smart than the first one. It's not exactly smart according to her, but it is more smart. More smart, why? Because it did some prediction. It might be wrong, right? But it did some prediction. Now, if there was a system which used breath sensors and found out that okay, you are not really in the good mood, you want to switch from whatever you ate for the first 10 times, then that might be more smart. That might be smarter. But one thing is common, is that it is predictive. It is proactive. Proactive means it uses some kind of prediction. Right? So it has to be proactive. Actually, there is a slight distinction. There is a slight distinction between proactive and predictive. Let's talk about it. What does it mean by proactive and predictive? There is a big overlap, but there is also a small slight distinction. Proactive means taking an action before an event has happened. Right? So the action by itself might not be predictive, it might be static. Right? It might be static action. But predictive means that you have some predictive algorithm and take an action that is predictive. So there is a slight distinction, but we will consider them to be both to be the same. Right? Proactive, predictive, same thing for the purpose of this class. There is a slight distinction, but we will say that they are equivalent. So smartness means you have to be proactive and you have to be application aware. Right? Now we don't have much time. We have, I think it's just 4 hours, already 4. So what we'll do from next class is that we'll start our other portions of the class which involve programming. Right? So we'll start the Android programming part of the class. So first 1.5 days we'll do Android, and then the next 3.5 days we'll continue with this discussion. Next week, Monday, I will introduce the first assignment. Your group formation is due when? It's on the schedule, right? Next week. Right? Next week, maybe before Friday. But so you can start working on the projects individually. But once you form groups, you can send in the projects or send in the assignments, the one assignment for group. All that? So project ideas we are compiling this by the end of this week. We will be done compiling by the weekend, and from Monday we will start demonstrating.